Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. I hope wherever you are in the world, today has been treating you well. In today's video, I am going to be testing a load of new bits from Revolution, including but not limited to the new Skin Silk Concealer. I'm very excited about this because one of my favourite foundations of all time is the Revolution Skin Silk, and they've finally brought out a concealer version of it, so I'm excited to try these two together. I do also have the new bronzer and blush sticks. I haven't even opened these yet. I haven't even looked at them. I don't know what these are going to be like, but I'm going to be starting with some new skincare from Revolution. So I think that this is like a new sort of sub-brand that they started, because we all know Revolution love to start like a sub-brand, do they not? So this is Revolution Skin, and they brought out loads of different products for loads of different like skincare concerns, not just kits like this. They did bring out just like individual products, but I just wanted to get my hands on like a few minis just to give them a go, so I decided to pick up this kit. This is the Go Gentle 4-step soothing routine. It comes with a cleanser, a toner, a serum and a moisturiser. So we're going to be getting into this. I will do the, obviously not the cleanser because I've got nothing on my skin to take off yet, but I'll do the serum and the moisturiser and see how we feel. So this is what the packaging looks like. I think it's really like, I think it's obviously trying to be like Drunk Elephant. I feel like the packaging is very sort of sleek, but also quite modern and like colourful. I love it. So like I say, I'm going to start with the Must Be Mucin Soothing Serum. Mucin, that's snail, is it not? But all of this stuff is vegan and cruelty free. Obviously, that's all I do here. So let's see, what is the texture of this like? Oh, it does seem thick. Ooh, it is like stringy. Okay. What benefits? I don't know, but soothing and like hydrating and like for your skin barrier. That's what this set was for. So that's why I went for this one over the hydrating one, because I'm all about soothing the skin barrier. So that's sunk in really nicely, and I was just reading on the back of the little sleeve that it came on. A super serum for dewy, bouncy and plump skin with wild yam extract and tremella mushroom to create a vegan alternative to snail mucin. Just felt like I needed to clarify that this wasn't coming from a snail, but that sunk in really nicely. Obviously it's just a serum, I can't tell all that much just yet, but I will go in with the moisturiser as well. So this is the Plump Tide Soothing Moisturiser. Oh, I thought that this was a lid. I thought that this was like a lid that you have to screw off. No, you just twist it and then it comes out the bottom. Is there anything in it? Hello? Oh yes, there we go. That tube is like empty. And again, I feel like that moisturiser has sunk in really nicely. It's just a serum and a moisturiser, but I feel like they're quite nice actually. The texture of them is quite nice. It's lightweight, but it still feels like it's nice and hydrating. Doesn't smell of anything, so that's a bonus for me. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the Skin Silk Luminous Serum Foundation. I have this in the shade F2, and like I say, this is one of my favourites from last year, so I'm running low as well. I need a new one. So I'm just going to blend this out with a makeup sponge, and then we can get onto the concealer and the like bronzer stick and everything. So that is the foundation all blended out, and it was just a light amount because I don't think there's anything left in my bottle now. That is getting very low. I need to like keep it upside down on my table and then just take the whole pump out when I need to use it next time. So I'm going to use the new concealer now. This is the Skin Silk Under Eye Brightener and Concealer. I picked this up in the shade Light Peach. because I think there was one shade lighter than this, and it was very, very light. And although I am very, very light, I think that this will match me a bit better. So let's just see. I know that this has got the most interesting applicator. It's like a metal wedge. It's very, very strange, but I actually think that that's going to feel delicious under my very, very tired eyes. So let's just see. I don't want to have to dip in. See, that's my problem. Like, that's completely clean now. I don't want to have to keep dipping in, but that does feel lovely and cold and really, really nice and refreshing. I bet first thing in the morning when I'm applying this on my tired, dreary eyeballs, I bet that this will feel delightful, because that really is very, very nice and cold. So just dipped in a few times. I don't know how I feel about the metal applicator. As much as it feels lovely, I did just have to dip in like 3 times to get the amount that I wanted. So I'm going to take the other side of my makeup sponge and blend this concealer in. Let's see what kind of coverage this is going to give. Okay, so I would say that this is probably a light to medium coverage. I think online it says that it's a medium coverage. It's absolutely not covering my dark circles. Let me just zoom you in and you might be able to see it's not covering like the blue in here. It's not covering that darkness. It's dialing it down a little bit, but I would potentially like a little bit more. I will just see if this is at all buildable. So I'll just tap a little bit more right in the inner corner and see if we can get any more coverage with it. Like I say, I'm perfectly happy with even a light to medium coverage. Like, it doesn't look bad, it still looks nice. But for days such as the life that I'm living at the minute, where I'm not getting a great deal of sleep, and I need a little bit more, I do just like a proper medium coverage rather than a light to medium, just round my eyes. Okay, so I would say that that has built up a little bit. Not a lot. I would say now it's at a medium, but I have 2 layers on. It looks really nice and like radiant though, and like it feels very lightweight, and it looks very sort of hydrated and like glowy. So I actually think if you were more of a mature human and you wanted just a light coverage to cover just a little bit of something, but to give more of that illuminated look rather than anything that's like going to cover an amazing amount of darkness, I think that you would probably really, really like that. I do like it. I like the finish of it. I like the way that it looks. It's not massively sinking into like the fine lines and things under my eyes, so that's a bonus. But I would personally prefer a slightly higher coverage, and also I'm just not the biggest fan of that applicator. Like, it just doesn't get a lot of product. Like, it looks like a lot of product, but then like as soon as you wipe that, I don't know, it almost feels a little bit gimmicky, the applicator. It does feel lovely, don't get me wrong. It feels lovely under my eyes where it's that like cooling metal applicator, but I think I just prefer a regular applicator at this point. So I am going to get into the bronzer and the blush sticks now. I am very, very excited about these. So let's start with the bronzer. The Silk Bronze Bronzer Stick. I got this in the shade Sunkissed Light, and this is what the outer packaging looks like. It is lovely. Like, you can't deny that the packaging is, I would say, above, like it looks above the price that you pay for it. I think that these were like $6.99. I'm gonna lose a finger with these scissors. I don't know where my little ones are. Oh well. So the bronzer stick. I wonder if these were meant to be a dupe for the Road ones. I don't know. Something is giving me... There's like moisture on the top. Can you see that? I'm just gonna wipe the top of that on a bit of tissue. Why is that like that? Okay, that looks better. That worried me a little bit. So, like I say, I got the shade Sunkissed. So, I think I'm gonna be cautious and just apply this from a brush rather than swiping this onto my face. Let's see what sort of colour and pigment we get. Okay, so first impressions. I don't like the colour, but that was my fault for picking that colour. So just being completely transparent, I don't like the colour, but I also don't really like the finish. It almost feels... And let me find the packaging. I just had it. It feels powdery. It feels... It says on it cream to powder. It does feel like that. It does feel almost like... If you remember Dream Matte Mousse back in the day where you put it on and it started to dry and then it felt like this. I don't know how else to describe it. It felt like this. It felt dry and almost chalky. That's how this is feeling and also looking, which isn't what I was expecting from the Skin Silk range that is like luminous and glowy and hydrating, and then this bronzer feels powdery, but it's a cream. I'm not sure. Also, I have just opened this, okay? You saw me risk life and limb getting into that packaging. Revolution, are you... Are you okay? Like, that is not a lot of product. I had to swipe into that quite a few times to get to this level of pigment. Now, granted, if I had got perhaps the correct shade, a slightly deeper shade, I would maybe have been able to make that work a little bit better. First impressions, don't love. Even besides the point that I got the wrong shade. I'm not the biggest fan. And as I said at the start, the Skin Silk foundation was my favourite foundation from last year, or one of my favourite foundations from last year. I am a huge fan. This bronzer is not it. I mean, I will use it, obviously I will use it. Honestly, I could use this probably every day for a month and be through that because there's like no product in it, but whatever. So just for reference, I've got another blush stick on my table here. This is 5.5 grams and this is 4.5 grams. This Catrice blush that I've been loving. Side note, really like that, and you don't need as much of it because it's more pigmented. I feel like this isn't very pigmented. I do also have this Technic one just out on my table, and this is 7 grams of product and it's less money, I would think. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, not sure. Just not sure. Let me try the blush though. Again, the outer packaging is beautiful. I'm hoping that this has got some sort of glow in it. These are marbled. I don't think the bronzer ones are, like any of them. Some of these blushes are though. If I do my scissors like this, I might not lose a finger. Am I making anybody else nervous with my scissor skills? Because I am making myself nervous there. So I got the shade Peachy Pink. Oh, it's very, very lightly marbled, that one. And it doesn't seem to have any of that moisture on the top that the bronzer stick had. So I have another of the same brush. These are the Real Techniques Expert Face brushes. I always use these brushes when I'm using cream and liquid face products, blush and things like that. That looks a lot more pigmented on the brush than the bronzer did. Yeah, that is a lot more pigmented. I'm not gonna need 2 dips for the blush. Let's see how this blends in. I'm hoping that some sort of glow comes through this and it doesn't feel too powdery. I do believe that they had like an orangey shade, but I was like, really? Do I need another orange blush? Absolutely not. I mean, do I need another peach blush? No, but here we are. Okay, so I feel very, very differently about the blush. Thank goodness. The blush is a lot more pigmented and I do feel like it's giving my skin a little bit of a glow. It doesn't have that powdery feeling. It's almost like I could feel, for the bronzer, it was almost like I could feel the product like drying under my brush as I was like applying it. I don't have that with the blush. I really, really like that. Again, you still don't get a ton of product, like it is a small amount of product, but I do like that. That feels okay to me. I'm just going to put a little bit on my nose. Yeah, I really, really like the blush. The bronzer, not so much. The concealer, again, it's fine. It's not the best concealer. Would you be interested in a Dry Skin Gal Recommends concealer edition? Because I feel like I've got some really good recommendations for concealer that are perfect for dry skin. This one's okay if you like light coverage, but I feel like there are other ones on the market that I prefer a lot more than this one. Would you like to see that? Video idea just came to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face. I'm doing a challenge over on my TikTok at the minute where I am posting a graphic liner look every single day. So if I come back and I look a bit wild, I am mentally sane. Yeah. But I am doing like a randomly selecting wet liner challenge over on my TikTok at the minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that for today. I will be right back. There we go. So I have finished up the eyes. If you saw this, I mean, I put it on TikTok, Instagram and on here. If you saw this short form, leave me the little sparkly emoji in the comment section. I'd be interested to see how many people who view my long form content also view the short form stuff, but this was day number 5 for that little challenge that I was doing. Anyway, I just wanted to do a little recap, didn't I? To the point. The concealer. If you like a lightweight, light coverage concealer, I think you'll really, really like this. I think potentially if you had more mature skin, you would probably really like this because it's so lightweight feeling. It's not going to be an every single day for me, but absolutely is a fine concealer. There's nothing like stand out about it for me, apart from the fact that it feels incredibly lightweight and looks really nice and glowy. So if you go for that, you'll probably really, really like that. The bronzer isn't my colour. I will see, potentially, I'll see how I feel if I see these in store and there's a colour that grabs my attention in the bronzer sticks. I would pick it up to try a colour that actually works for me. I feel like this is a bit yellow and it's very light. So if you were more of a fair cool tone, this would probably work for you. I am a little bit more warm, so it does just look a little bit yellow on my skin, but obviously different skin tones, it'll come up like completely differently. Just doesn't necessarily work for me. It's not knocking my socks off, but it's such a small amount of product, I will use that up. Then the blush, I think that the blush is lovely. Obviously this has been on my skin for about half an hour whilst I was doing all of this liner, so I do feel like it has sunk into the skin really nicely. I haven't powdered anywhere. I do feel like it has sunk into the skin really nicely and it is looking really nice and glowy. I would definitely be tempted by the orange one because of course I would. I love an orange blush. And was that all that was new? Oh no, the skincare. I'm interested to try the cleanser and the toner, but the moisturiser and the serum were both lovely. I think that they went underneath those base products really, really nicely. I think that obviously the foundation is already a glowy, luminous foundation, but I do feel like these underneath felt very, very nice. I'm excited to try the other two products, and they're at a very, very affordable range, so I think that they were lovely. And I do believe that that was everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something because I'm like doing two things at once mentally, which obviously is too much for me to focus on. So have you tried any of these products? What do you think of them? If you are a similar skin tone to me, what bronzer shade do you recommend? Because I could definitely be tempted. I would love to know what you think of these products if you have picked them up. Are you going to pick them up? I will leave everything linked down below if you want to read up about any of these products, if you want to see what they look like online, anything like that. I will leave them linked down below. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.